Hey guys, welcome back to the Go Heavy or Go Home podcast. I'm your host, Nate Boley, and today's episode is truly a special one. We're not just going to be skimming the surface, we're diving deep into the heart and the soul, what fuels the fire of Strength Warehouse. We've often touched upon that drive that pushes us past our limits, that tiny voice on your shoulder or in the back of your head that says, you got one more rep. Today, we're going to dig deep into the essence of that spirit. Why does Strength Warehouse exist? For you, to enable every individual to climb peaks that they never thought they could or they've never dreamed of. Our philosophy isn't pulled out of thin air. We have expert coaching at its foundation, but what truly sets us apart is our data-backed programming and unparalleled passion for strength and helping you push past your limits. Imagine pairing strength training with practical, sustainable nutrition coaching. The result? Proven, tangible outcomes. Outcomes that resonate with strength, resilience, and newfound confidence. How do we track these things? So we start you off with what we call the no sweat intro. So I'm just going to break down our unique approach. It's not a one size fits all, far from it. Our strategy involves 3 meticulously designed steps, right? So we start off with the goals discovery, quote unquote, the NSI, where your dreams and your ambitions meet reality. We sit down and we listen to you. We go through where you've been, where you want to go, what's your time frame, do you have any injuries, and then we tailor a strategic plan that resonates with your personal goals, whether that's through one-on-one coaching, group style coaching, nutrition coaching, or a combination of one of those 3. Then we give you the RX, quote unquote, the prescription. This isn't just about exercise. It's a holistic guide from nutrition to mindset, and every angle is covered. On our 90-day journey, we start everybody out with one-on-ones. Some of them are catered towards group classes, which we call the on-ramp, and some of them are catered towards your specific customized goal. They start out really similar, and like I said, it's just one's catered towards classes and one's catered towards your exact customized goal. Implementation is key here. This stage is where the rubber meets the road, driving measurable results that you can see and feel. So we start you off with the in-body scanner, where we get a really detailed biometric overview of what your body looks like, right? We get fat percentages, we get muscle percentages, we get limb percentages of muscle versus fat. We get how much water you have, how tall you are, all that type of stuff. And then that's where we start our baseline. And then we give you an in-body scan every 90 days after that. And so we can track over time, how are we doing with objective measurements, right? We also track how much weight you're pushing. So if you started out in your on-ramps and you're going to classes, we have you track your squat, bench, deadlift, and we see where you are. And then over 90 days, we see where your new PRs are going. So we can two objectives measurements, we can see, has your body composition changed? Have you gotten stronger? Those are 2. And then we give you a subjective one. How are you feeling? How is your sports? How's your sleep? How's your rest? How's your recovery? All that type of stuff. Those are all subjective things. But those are 3 main ways that we can track your progress. All right, guys. So I want to get into the 90-day journey. All right. How we keep track of you and where you are in the 90-day journey is really comes down to this amazing tool that we created called the client journey. And it's basically an Excel spreadsheet that has everything in it. It's got, your on-ramps in there. It has your biometric scans in there. It has where you are in the pipeline, everything. It really is an amazing machine that we created to help track everything you're doing in the 90 days. And so we can just make sure that we're keeping you on track, right? So during this 90-day journey, we have specific points that we like to check in with you. The first one being, of course, at the very beginning is the goal review, or the NSI. And then after that, we check in with you at 30 days in person. In between that first sign up and the first 30-day review, we also have our CSM, our client success manager. They reach out to you. They send you a welcome card. There's definitely some steps in there that help get you integrated in with the way we do things and our gym and our culture and all that stuff. We hook you up with our Chalk It Pro app. That's the way that you can track all of your exercises in over the weeks, so you know you're progressing. And then, like I said, at the goal reviews, the 30-day goal review, we meet with you in person again. We see how things are progressing for you. How are you feeling? And we give you another in-body scan. And then, like I said, after that, there's just more touch points. Every 90 days, we like to meet up with you. And the goal reviews are just absolutely so huge. Since we started doing goal reviews a couple years ago, I've seen the people that partake in these, their goals just get smashed every single 90 days, and they're always getting new ones. The people that don't necessarily partake in these, they struggle a little bit because they don't have a specific goal they're working towards. They don't have anybody that can, help them articulate what they're supposed to be doing now. Just for an example, I have several clients that they have big race seasons, whether that's skiing or snowboarding or biking or whatever, or triathlons or whatever it is. If we don't know about that, we can't help curtail your programming and your experience there to help you. You might just be doing like a max effort lift one day, and then the next day you've got to do a marathon. Or maybe you just don't show up for a couple weeks because you know that you have a marathon coming up, which I highly recommend you not doing. Letting us know what's coming up in your future so we can help cater that program to you. Maybe it's in class where you're like, hey, I've got a 100 mile bike ride tomorrow and I don't want my back to be smoked, so I'm not going to do a 1 rep max deadlift. I'm going to do, maybe it's going to be deadlifts, but it's going to be lighter, so you're not completely smoked going forward. The other things that we've really implemented in our gym, starting with just recently, we started with this thing called Momentum Monday. Momentum Monday is just something that we post on our members page, and it really, really helps drive what we're intentfully looking to do for the next week. I made a video about this earlier, and it's just like meal prepping. So if you know you have a goal of losing X pounds or gaining X pounds of muscle or whatever, and you don't have your food prepped for you, there's no way you're going to hit those goals, because unless you spend a ton more time going through and figuring out exactly, what place has the right macronutrients for you and all that type of stuff, which is just way, way out of control. So much easier to stay on track, and you will get to your goals a lot faster if you just have a plan, right? So Momentum Monday is having a plan for the week. Now, it doesn't have to be about the gym or getting fit or whatever. It can be anything you want it to be in life, as long as you have a goal. So my business group that I'm a part of, they started implementing it, I think, before I started there, but I didn't really do it for a little while until about a year ago. I started doing the Momentum Mondays. And that tailors right into the Spotlight Fridays, which is what we do. That's something that says, hey, I've got stuff done this week and I'm proud of it, right? It's not gloating. It's not like, hey, I want to, brag or whatever about myself. It's literally just writing down and seeing those wins for yourself. And it also gives other people motivation that maybe you're struggling. I highly recommend you guys start doing those two things if you're a part of our group. If you're not part of our group, that's a great thing to do anyway. Just write them down. Like I said, I started doing both Momentum Monday and Spotlight Fridays, and I have not missed one since I started doing it. And it's such a great way to just count those wins, right? And just being like, hey, where did I come from? I started out, just say this for sure. I started out with a 600-pound deadlift, and I wanted a 650 deadlift. So every week I was like, hey, I'm working on this deadlift. I'm working on this deadlift. I'm working on this deadlift. By the end of it, I had that 655, right? So it's how to track your progress, intentfully do things that you know are going to move the needle forward. So that's why we do those Momentum Mondays. And it's such a huge thing, and I highly, highly, highly recommend you guys do that. If you're, like I said, if you're part of our membership and you're on our members page, I highly recommend you guys post on there so we can all see what you guys are looking for and doing for the week, whether it's fitness, lifestyle, finances, whatever it is out there. Maybe it's your car. I don't know. Maybe it's a race or who knows, whatever you're doing. But those are also tools and resources that we give that really hone down the experience and help people track their goals over time. Because you can go back in the Facebook feed and look at your Momentum Monday from a year ago, and it might have been like, hey, I just want to be consistent at the gym 3 days a week. And then a year later, you've been consistent 5 days a week, and now your goals are completely changed. So goal reviews are awesome because everybody's why changes over time, right? If you came into the gym and you're like, my overarching goal is to be healthy forever, or for as long as I can be, right? That's a great goal, but it's so broad that it's very easy to jump off of that goal because it's like, hey, if I miss a few months, it's not going to really affect my long-term goal. When nobody just falls off for 2 or 3 months. They fall off for 6, 8, 10 months or a year. Very, very rarely does somebody just fall off for 2 months and then they're bam, back into their thing. So highly recommend doing those with us. It's strategically planning out the next 90 days for you. What do you want to do? What does your in-body scan look like? Are you going backwards? Are we doing the wrong things? Do we need to turn the car around? And, maybe it's, hey, I'm so stressed out at work right now that the strength training is just dogging me down. Okay, maybe we curtail down to only, 1 or 2 days a week of more intentful work instead of, going into the classes every day and killing ourselves, or who knows what it could be, right? So that's why we do the goal reviews. It really, really just helps our clients get to the goals fastest as possible without, the risk, with having less risk of injury, and then helps us know what you want so we can give you the right stuff that's going to help you get to those goals. Momentum Monday, like I said, is just an intentful checklist. What am I going to do this week? How do I make it happen? And you can look back on it over the week and be like, I check that one off? I did that one. I did that one. I did that one. It's just a way to intentfully keep track of what you're trying to do. And then Spotlight Fridays, again, is just that, hey, maybe everything didn't go the way it was supposed to, but you still have a great mindset about it. So posting that, like I posted one the week that, hey, I broke my foot, but silver lining is I can still do other workouts, and I'm still doing other workouts at that point. But yeah, that's how we help in a nutshell, from the NSI through the 90-day journey, goal reviews, Momentum Monday, and Spotlight Fridays. That is really what helps keep the clients in our community whole. You're not just going into a big box gym and doing your own thing and not really knowing what's going on, and the gym doesn't really care if you show up or not. They actually probably prefer that you don't show up so their equipment doesn't get used, right? Because then over time, so many people use it, they got to replace the equipment. Our model is completely different. We really, really want everybody to come in, get to their goals, have fun, smash PRs, and just be amazing humans. I've often been asked, what's the secret sauce behind Strength Warehouse success? And honestly, it's our team. It's the collective energy, passion, and expertise of every individual that walks through our doors. From our seasoned coaches to our members, everyone brings a unique energy, a drive to be better, stronger, and more resilient than yesterday. And our reach goes beyond just the confines of our gym walls. We actively are working on strengthening our community, whether it's by training athletes for events like powerlifting or strongman or triathlons, or supporting families in need during the holiday seasons. Our goal is a holistic community empowerment. So to wrap things up, it's not about where we aim to be tomorrow, but it's about the values and the mission we hold dear today. Every drop of sweat, every challenge overcome is a step toward a stronger gym, community, and self. So keep pushing, keep challenging, and keep unleashing your potential. Thank you for tuning in today, and until next time, go heavy or go home.